He is a chartered accountant, company secretary, and a law graduate, and is executive director of A to Z Tax Corporation LLB, tax and professional practices focused mainly on GST and other indirect taxes. He is also author of GST Law and Commentary, which is one of the very good book on the market on the subject with the proper good analysis, one of the best book. He's a chairman of Indirect Tax Committee of PhD Chamber of Commerce, New Delhi, has represented many burning issues on GST to the Finance Ministry. I request Vimalji to share some of the issues recently taken up with the Finance Ministry during the course of the deliberation. The topic of the day for the deliberation is ITC and its interplay with the supply, valuation, and block the credit. With these words, I request Vimalji to start the session.
At the outset, let me thank Association of GST Professionals and especially CA Ramanang Kutti and CA James Anthony making this arrangement today on GST webinar. Yes, we are doing a lot of GST webinar pan-India, and I'm sure you're doing at your southern part of India as well. I have also deliberated in some of the webinar and recalling my days of physically visiting Cochin, interacting with the audience and participants, live audience. That mesmerizing moment is missing when we do webinar, but still I will try today that you all should enjoy today. And I will not start something with a technical bombarding provision. I will not do that. Rather, I would be interested that you must enjoy your Saturday evening like you have gone to watch a movie. And when you enjoy Saturday evening, the advantage for webinar is also you can take a cup of tea or coffee, whatever you like. Other thing I can't offer. I can only say tea or coffee at the moment. So take a cup of tea or coffee, relax yourself, cool down, enjoy the way it is coming to you. Some of the things you'd be knowing, some of the things you would not be knowing. Let's start participating. That is the important one in a chat box. See, webinar is complete only when we start interacting with both of us together. Bimal Jain from this side and you are sitting on other side. Start using the chat box. And that will also help me to get the answer of the queries which I'm going to post during my session. I know topic is big, but we are going to enjoy in a way so that we can understand most of the practical case study, whatever we are going to do today. So before I start, we all are slowly joining. India is same whether North India or South India. We never start on time first and we come as a guest. So, okay, relax, cool off, would be joining within 5-10 minutes. Though language is a barrier and we always say why North India and South India, but this aspect is common everywhere, whether the Southern India or Northern India or Eastern India or Western India. Nonetheless, important age, you are joining, taking out your time and trying to be part of this webinar today. We will definitely do something good. So at the end of session, you should feel privileged. Yes, by joining today, you gain a lot of new important aspect which you never thought of in GST. And that is what I carry a responsibility whenever I'm being asked for any webinar or seminar. It is expected by the organizer that I'm going to give something new, something different, something unique and special. I'm being always considered like that. I'm blessed that you have so much of faith on me And today also, I will present my session, my topic, in a way that you will feel like something new you got today, which you were not knowing even 4 years ended in GST. It got introduced in July 1, 2017. So before I start, I would like to have something coming back from you in a chat box. If you feel you are ready, you can say yes. Still you are in a mode of settling down, say no. But you're saying yes, help me to start my session. And I will start immediately. And please enjoy, use your chat box. Use the chat box the way we are interacting one-on-one basis. And you're seeing me, just I'm sitting in front of you. Enjoy like this. Okay, all right. So many friends started writing, yes, that is what I'm expecting. And this is very good for me that I'm getting such chat box comment. So thank you to all, Sirija, and so many guys are writing. So I'm not naming individually. Binu is there, Rusikesh is there, Girish is there, Saji Thomas is also there. So many guys, not naming, but thanking each one of you that you started writing in a chat box. I'm going to do 6 to 9 case studies, 6 to 9, depending on the time. If time permits, I will try to complete all 9 case studies. But otherwise, I have thought of I would be taking up 6 to 9 case studies. Let me start with the first case study, and it is interplay. I'm going to interplay provision of supply versus input tax credit. And then we will do certain planning, GST planning, so that we can maximize our input tax credit and we can reduce ITC, which is not made available to me, or somewhat I'm being barred not to avail credit. So it's an interplay. I'm going to mix up 2 components. Listen very carefully, because I would be posting query to all of you and you need to answer also. Let's start. In supply definition, you know there is a reference of Schedule 1 under Section 7, subsection 1, clause C, Schedule 1, which is deemed supply. Even without consideration, it is being considered as a supply. So para 2 or entry 2 of Schedule 1, which I'm discussing before you, and I'm going to pick up the judgment from Kerala only, so that you can connect the topic and enjoy the topic. Para 2 of Schedule 1 says supply of goods or services between related person or distinct person in the course of furtherance of business is a deemed supply, even though there is no consideration. With the proviso provided any amount less than 50,000 as a gift in any financial year from employer to employee, neither a supply of goods nor supply of services. So this was the provision which I have narrated before you. Now, what is the case study? Let me start with, I'm a company. Let's say I'm a company, ABC company. And I've got factory in Kerala. And in this factory, my employees are coming in. I need to provide them lunch and dinner. That is on me to provide them lunch or dinner. So I've engaged one outdoor caterer in my factory to provide the lunch. And lunch is being charged 100 rupees per thali, per pex, 100 rupees per pex, per thali. So outdoor caterer is charging 100 rupees to me, to company. Now my first question goes to all of you, and you must feel like even though you know or you do not know, you must try to answer it. So this outdoor caterer going to charge GST to the company, right? What is the rate applicable? Is it 5% or 18%? Please tell me in a chat box. 5 or 18, whatever you know, please tell me in a chat box. And feel free, enjoy, so that we can take the advantage of understanding each other. It's a 5% with no ITC, no input tax credit, no ITC on goods or services. So I responded back. Those who are answering, I'm also providing my answer to you that outdoor caterer will charge 5% to AVC company. And for outdoor caterer with no ITC, no input tax credit on goods and services. All right, let's move further. Now this company need to provide this lunch to the employee concerned, and company have two options. First option, that company can provide subsidized rate as against 100 rupees charged by outdoor caterer. Company going to charge 20 rupees. Let's assume hypothetically 20 rupees. This is the option one. And second option, that company is making it free for the employee concerned, not charging single penny. Nothing is being charged. So let's take second first. If I'm a company bearing a cost of 100 rupees, 5% GST charged by outdoor caterer, and offering this lunch to my employee concerned free of cost. Nothing is being charged. So when I'm providing free of cost, please tell me whether any GST leviable in the hands of company to employee, employer to employee. When FOC, please tell me any GST leviable. Say yes or no in a chat box. I really want that you must participate, even though you know the answer, you write it. If you don't know the answer, still write it. So answer is no GST leviable. Regions are region number one, that whatever consideration which is being provided by employer to the employee in lieu of employment. So when an employee providing services to the employer and in lieu thereof, whatever consideration is being given is a part of Schedule 3. Neither a supply of goods nor supply of services. It may be perquisite, whatever might be, but in lieu of employment, no GST leviable. To add further, there was press release on 10th July 2017, and that press release specifically says, if employer company providing free of cost in lieu of employment, then no GST leviable. So it is not only restricted with the lunch, anything which is being given in lieu of employment, free of cost, no GST leviable, even though employer and employee are related person. As per the explanation under section 15 of CGST Act, employer and employee are related person. But if it is free of cost, FOC, deeming provision, entry 2 of Schedule 1, talking about it is a deemed supply. Recording has stopped. Can I request the organizers to continue with the recording? Can I request organizer to continue with the recording?
Yeah, Mr. James.
Yeah.
Yeah, the recording is got stopped.
Yeah. Who is operating this
James,
Zoom?
James.
James, are you there? Can you just switch on the recording?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you, because this recording might help later.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for that reason only I request it. Nevertheless, back. So I was referring, even though it is deemed supply, but lieu of para 1 schedule 3, neither a supply of goods nor supply of services, no GST leviable, FOC. So FOC, this part is clear to all of us that no GST leviable. But my next question, which I will not answer at the moment, and I'm not asking you now, but I will take up ITC related little later. Just pause for the time being. Take the first option, subsidized rate. I'm being charged 100 rupees by the outdoor caterer. He charging 5% GST to the ABC company. If I'm charging at 20 rupees, then I'm giving you the option, and you have to tell me the option which one is correct. This 20 rupees subsidized rate, then the matter of valuation will come, because employer is charging 20 rupees over and above employment contract. Had it been in lieu of employment contract, which I said in case of FOC is not applicable here, because 20 rupees is charged from employee concerned. So employer providing services to employee, charging 20 rupees, then the conclusion which is coming out, it is fitting into para 2 of schedule 1, which is even without consideration. But when 20 rupee charge, then we are going back to the valuation. Rule 28. Under CGST valuation rule, it should be open market value. It should be like, kind, and quality. It should be 100%, 110% of cost of provision or residue method. These are the options provided. Under the two proviso also, the first proviso says that it can be 90% of selling price by the recipient unit of goods, which is not the case we are discussing. And subsequent proviso says if recipient unit is entitled to avail credit, then whatever value declared by the supplier would be deemed as an open market value. So we are not fitting into any of the proviso. Now we have to look at the option of open market value, like, kind, and quality, 110% or residue method. So when 20 rupee charge, my first question to all of you, rapid fire. Whether GST leviable, tell me yes or no in a chat box. First of all, tell me in a chat box, leviable or not leviable. It is leviable. Everyone is saying leviable. Perfect, perfect. Only one guy, B. Sundarajan, says no. Mr. Sundarajan, there's the one advanced ruling which is upheld by Appellate Authority of Kerala only in the Caltech polymers. And when you're charging 20 rupees over and above employment contract, GST leviable. Rusikesh Thumar is also saying no, but this is my answer to all of you. Yes, when you're charging money, it is chargeable too. So I'm not agreeing. Now, Mr. V. Sundarajan is saying it is not a supply. It may be your take. What is the supply definition? Supply definition is saying all forms of goods or services, or both, made or agreed to be made for a consideration by a person in the course of furtherance of business, and business definition under section 2 subsection 17H. even any incidental or ancillary activity which is being undertaken for your main business is a business. That is what is being termed by Appellate Advanced Ruling Authority of Kerala in Caltex Polymers, which you'd be knowing that. Just to help you out, even this outdoor catering services provided to the company and company charging 20 rupees, in my humble opinion, it is exposed. You can say recovery is the reimbursement, then nothing is chargeable anywhere. Mr. Sundarajan, you're creating an argument which is looks like to me you are not understanding GST in a true sense. I'm a trader in goods. I purchase at 100 rupees and then I'm selling at 80 rupees. Am I going to say that I'm recovering 80 rupees? No, don't create such argument which is going to contradict the overall situation. It is not recovery. It is not recovery or reimbursement which you're talking about. When you're charging in the course of furtherance of business, that's what the position coming out. So to my mind, chargeability exists, first of all. Second argument, is it going to be 20 rupees which I'm recovering? Or I need to go back to the valuation rule. And as per valuation rule, it should be open market value or like, kind, and quality. So I'm giving three options to you. It is 20, it is 100, which is like, kind, and quality, or 110, which is 110% cost of provision. Please tell me, what is the valuation need to be considered? Please reply in a chat box. I want answer from all of you. So if you go back to, there's some Rishita Jain also joined today, and Mr. Saji Thomas saying 100 minus 20. So he's only picking 80, 110 and 20. That's what he's saying. Pankaj Nahar is saying 20. In my humble opinion, it would be open market value or like, kind, and quality. I got this thali at 100 rupees, which is the open market value or like, kind, and quality. So at most chargeable at 100 rupees, not 110. 110 will come into the picture when I'm not being able to derive, because there's a sequence I need to follow. Open market value, like, kind, and quality, 110% of cost of provision. This is the sequence I need to follow. Hope I'm clear about it. So to my understanding, 100 rupees is the amount chargeable. Then what is the GST rate going to be applicable? Now we have determined the valuation. Next is the rate. What is the rate I am going to apply, 5% or 18%? Please tell me, 5% or 18%? 5% or 18%? You all are saying 5%, and quite obvious that similar kind of things which I'm offering to my employee concern, why there would be difference in rate? It would be 5% leviable. Am I right? That's what the perception you're also carrying in your mind, and that's what my perception would be. But when I'm picking a 5% GST rate, then I must be knowing with no ITC. So whatever GST charge on inward supply, and I'm charging as outward supply, no ITC, I will not get any credit, no ITC. But the next question which will come very importantly, whether this company is an outdoor caterer. Whether this company is an outdoor caterer, you are saying 5%. Company is not outdoor catering. Company is not outdoor catering. Then how come you can pick up the rate of 5%? How come you can pick the rate of 5% of outdoor caterer applicable? Outdoor caterer applicable. So these are the questions need to be evaluated, and we have a challenge today. We have a challenge today that what is the rate going to be picked up. Now, in a given situation, so there's Mr. Sundarajan has picked up certain provision for me, and he's saying that Gujarat Advanced Ruling Authority is saying that GST, whatever we are taking 20 rupees is a recovery. Let me clarify to all of you, because this chat box is open to all of us together. Kerala saying something else, and Mr. Sundarajan, this is for you. You picked up Gujarat, started talking in Kerala. First of all, is it applicable to you if you are Kerala guy? Second, advanced ruling is applicable only to the applicant. It is not applicable in RAM. Can you apply that advanced ruling to your advantage? Unless you are appellant. Second, third, contrary to advanced ruling from Kerala and Gujarat, you're picking up Gujarat to your advantage. You're liking it, right? What about Kerala then? Why you will not follow Kerala? Kerala is also upheld by appellate advanced ruling authority, Mr. Sundarajan. You have to answer it very properly. Just picking up one judgment of Gujarat advanced ruling, you are citing the region and then going back. So I'm just asking, see, these are the only complication, creating complication of understanding the subject matter. Here we are not sitting to prove ourselves we are the master of subject matter. Here we are sitting to discuss and analyze where we are and what are the problems arising to contrary advanced ruling. Can we apply the favorable one, which is applicable only to the appellant? And these advanced ruling going contrary, in my humble opinion, we can debate and argue till the time matter is decided by Honorable Supreme Court. But from a business perspective, you cannot carry on. You need to decide and determine and go forward. You cannot invite litigation just to look at the one ruling coming as per your understanding, and that's what you started sounding, Mr. Sundarajan. Nevertheless, come back. I was on a point that my outvote, what is the GST rate applicable, 5% or 18%, right? This was the point I made. You said 5%, then I sounded, are you caterer? Are you providing catering services to your employee concern? Why not 18%? Why not 18%? But the advantage and disadvantage, if you apply 5%, no ITC. If you apply 18%, which looks logical one because you are not outdoor caterer, GST credit would be available to you. This is what the nearest we are reaching to the conclude the things. But here what I want to do, one opinion part. The opinion which is advantageous to all of us together, and we need not require to go back to check any advanced ruling, any high court judgment. Listen carefully now. I gave two options to all of you. One is free of cost. I said in FOC, no GST chargeable when I'm offering free of cost. Second option, if I'm charging subsidized rate, I'm exposed. I'm telling you, I'm exposed to charge GST. I do not want to go into litigation. And I have said my part from my side. I said what are the things we need to consider. So without going into litigation, what I would be looking at. Now let's go back and check ITC provision, input tax credit provision. Under section 17, subsection 5, clause B. On food and beverages, no ITC. Unless this is inward supply for the similar services or is an element of mixed or composite supply. If you'd be recalling, Section 17, subsection 5, clause B, there's a bar. No credit on food and beverages unless it is invoice supply for the similar services, or it is an element of mixed or composite supply, but this employer is into the business of manufacturing of LED TV. They are not in outdoor catering business. So these are the complications coming out. So I'm doing one business planning for all of you here. Subsequent proviso in the same under section 17, subsection 5, clause B is, if it is obligatory on employer to provide to employee concern, obligatory under statutory provision, then credit would be available. Credit would be available. Then as a tax planning, as a consultant, my advice to all of you would be, if it is obligatory, ITC available, then I will configure this transaction in this manner. I will take 100 rupees per pix from outdoor caterer. He will charge 5% GST. And I will offer as a free of cost, FOC. I'm just changing the business model, which I wanted to do. I will not charge any money to my employee concerned, free of cost. So as no GST leviable in the light of para 1, schedule 3, read with the press release, which I said just a while ago. And credit is also available if it is obligatory on me. Obligatory on me, on company, credit would be available. Tell me up till now, whatever I have said, have you understood it? Please tell me in a chat box, whatever I have said, you have understood it. You say only yes in a chat box. All right. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right. Well done. Next part, Mr. Ramana Kutti said that, Bimalji, you must raise that what are the point you have discussed with Joint Secretary GST Council. We had one webinar on GST Day on July 1, 2021. I raised two concerns. And I asked specifically to Joint Secretary GST Council, I asked first thing to him, sir, please tell me, if I'm offering food and beverages, which is must, sometimes it is statutory obligated under Factories Act for the manufacturer. What about service provider who is in service sector? It is not obligatory, but try to understand that being employer, it is his responsibility to ensure that his employee must get nutrition food. And this is important to maintain good health, hygienic for my employee concern. And I'm offering to my employee concern as a part of employment contract. If it is a part of employment contract, nothing is being charged, no GST leviable, we have concluded. But only problem, if it is not obligatory, ITC credit will not be available. Input tax credit will not be available. Only problem. First part. Second, I asked him, sir, COVID-19 is going on. Please tell me during COVID-19, I'm giving drugs, medicine, I'm giving sanitizer, mask to my employee concern. And this is to protect them from COVID-19. And we have to ensure good health, physical health to be maintained for the employee concern. Whether such masks, sanitizer, drugs, medicine, which is offered FOC free of cost to my employee concern, whether credit would be available. I'm posting query to all of you. Please tell me. Am I offering sanitizer, mask, drugs, medicine to my employee concern, whether credit would be available to the company? See, dispute, all of you are saying yes. All of you are saying yes, but try to understand in the context of personal consumption. In the name of personal consumption, department used to dispute this credit and they say, Bimalji, it is personal consumption credit, is not available. That what the sound you will get. That what the sound you will get when you listen to the department, and department continue to dispute on this pretext only. My submission to all of you, and which I posted to Joint Secretary GST Council. I said, sir, these drugs, medicine, sanitizer, mask, which I'm offering to my employee, it is to ensure they are being protected, good health, and employees are ultimately backbone for my business. It is in the course of furtherance of business. It is in the course of furtherance of business. Why credit will not be available? And to my mind, in my humble opinion, even though it is not obligatory, some of you has written obligatory, but I'm telling you, even though it is not obligatory, then also credit is available. Credit is available. Tell me on this second part, whatever I'm offering to my employee concern, it cannot be take the color of, it cannot take the color of personal consumption. It is just to ensure these employees, their health, their nutrition, food is important for me. And it is in the course of furtherance of business, hence credit is available. That would be my humble submission. Tell me in a chat box, do you all agree with the second conclusion? If you agree, I will move further. I know litigation would be there. I know dispute would be there, but we have to fight out all such dispute and go accordingly. All right, in the course of furtherance of business. So this was the part, and let me move little further and make it more interesting for all of you. Now I've done this lunch, dinner, drugs, medicine, sanitizer. Now listen, second part very carefully. And there's a Mr. Raju Lakshmi saying SOP issued by government for running business, all these safety measures to be taken. So Raju Lakshmi is making this thing compulsorily, obligatory. So it is helping us to prove to the authority, if I'm offering drugs and medicine, sanitizer, mask to employee concern, as per the government guidelines, hence obligatory, and credit would be available. Good one, it is helping me. But even though I said it is not obligatory, then also I can say in the course or furtherance of business. Let's move little further. When I look at such lunch and dinner, there's another issue which is creating much of the dispute. Notice pay. Notice pay is what? I'm an employer and let you all become employee. And notice pay is being given when there's a termination of contract, employment contract. So if I'm asking you to leave the job, to my employee to leave the job, I pay 1 month or 3 month notice pay as written in the contract. Or when my employee concerned leaving the job, he will pay to the employer 1 month or 3 months, whatever written into the contract. Now, please tell me and answer sincerely, applying your mind. If I'm giving, employer is giving 1 month or 3 month notice pay to employee concerned, because I'm asking him to leave the job. Whether GST leviable, tell me in a chat box, whether GST leviable. Please tell me in a chat box. No GST, except 1 or 2 guys saying yes. No GST because it is a part of employment contract. Some Mr. Bibek Agrawal is saying it's a part of employment contract. What would be the reverse case? When employee is giving to employer notice pay. So there may be reverse situation also. Whether GST leviable, tell me in a chat box. So there is Mr. Some Rajesh R. He's picking up some gifting provision of 50,000 rupees. K. Prakash, it is expenditure to tolerate an act. So some of the things, yes, applicable and dispute all. So different dispute. Let me take this as a second case study. And listen, you need to have concentration ready so that you can get the point, which I'm discussing here, and I wanted to draw your attention. Somebody will say it is tolerating an act. And this tolerating an act has created big problem for all India. Now, when employee concerned giving to the employer, you are having a difference of opinion and different answer, right? This is what you said. Let me do 10 minutes I will take for this analysis and then conclude that what is my say on the matter. Para 5E of Schedule 2. What is Para 5E? Para 5E says when there is obligation to refrain from an act or to tolerate an act or situation, second, or third, to do an act. So there are three components: obligation to refrain from an act, to tolerate an act or situation, or to do an act. It is Para 5E of Schedule 2, which is termed as a supply of service. Supply of service. Now, whether GST leviable, that's what, because some of you have said tolerate an act, GST leviable. Let me draw your attention that Section 7, subsection 1, clause D, which was having reference of Schedule 2 in supply definition, it got omitted with retrospective date, July 1, 2017. So reference of Schedule 2, which was a part of supply definition, omitted from July 1, 2017. Subsequently, a new subsection, Section 7, subsection 1A got inserted. And what is this subsection? This subsection 1A is talking about any activities or transaction which constitute as a supply within the definition under Section 7, subsection 1. So first it is saying any activities or transaction constitute as a supply under Section 7, subsection 1. So under Section 7, subsection 1, there are three subclauses. Subclause A, all forms of goods and services. Subclause B, import of services for a consideration, whether or not in the course of business. And subclause C, Schedule 1, deemed supply, right? If it is constituting as a supply, then it can be either supply of goods or supply of services as per Schedule 2. So my humble reading is that such activities or transaction first need to pass test of definition of supply. If it is supply, then I will go back to Schedule 2 to check whether the activity is supply of goods or supply of services. So Schedule 2 cannot prepone. Schedule 2 need to be looked into only when I'm satisfied that the activities or transaction which is being undertaken is a supply. So para 5E once again is a similar kind of provision under section 66E, subclause E of Finance Act for the service tax levy under declared services, similar kind of clause. Now, whether chargeable to service tax and GST, this is the question before us. I would like to put up some point before you, and you decide by yourself. At the moment, let you be judge of this subject matter. Then I will tell you whether we enter into a contract for violation. First point, of course, is a condition to the contract. In case I violate the same, we will pay this notice pay, compensation, damages. Of course we pay, but first and foremost, it's do we enter into a contract for the violation? We never entered and we never intended for the violation of contract. We never intended. And as per supply definition, it is said made or agreed to be made. I'm reading out that section 7, subsection 1, subclause A. All forms of goods or services or both, such as sell, transfer, barter, exchange, licensing, leasing, renting, or disposal, made or agreed to be made. Please, each of the term is important. Made or agreed to be made for a consideration by a person in the course of furtherance of business. Whenever I enter into a contract and I promise for the positive part of provision, I never go for the negative part. I never intended that I will violate the contract. I never intended that I will delay the contract. I never intended that I will create legal injury. I will not. So my first and foremost, it is only condition to a contract, but I never entered for such violation. I never entered for such delay. So in my humble opinion, it looks like tolerating an act cannot be used. I'm using the term cannot be used so openly and so vaguely. Even though this employee which is offering me the consideration in lieu of notice pay, it will continue to be in lieu of employment contract. Either I pay as a notice pay or employee can pay to me in lieu of notice pay, continue to be because of employment contract, and employment contract is being taken out. Entry 1, Schedule 3. Neither a supplier of goods nor supplier of services. Why GST leviable? To my mind, no GST leviable. And fortunately, Madras High Court, in the case of T&D India Limited, T&D India Limited, has said no service tax leviable. Fortunate. And for liquidated damages, for which I was discussing, I will conclude liquidated damage a little later, but let's have conclusion first. Then on notice pay, whether it is paid by employer or paid by employee, continue to be as a condition of contract, and contract is employment contract excluded. Entry 1, Schedule 3, not chargeable to GST. First tell me in chat box, whatever we concluded pertaining to notice pay, it's clear to all of you. Say yes or no in a chat box. Yes or no in a chat box. Your yes and no will help me to really, go and, okay, perfect. So everyone got it right. Now let's conclude the liquidated damage. Let's conclude the liquidated damage. What is the liquidated damage which I'm discussing with all of you? I just said just a while ago, in my humble opinion, all liquidated damage cannot be made chargeable to GST, cannot be made chargeable to GST. You have to go back and check the contract itself. As I said, I never intended to violate the contract. I never entered for the violation of contract. I entered the contract for the supply of goods or services. Am I right? This was my intention. supply of goods or services. But somewhat, I violated the contract. If I violated the contract, then my other party may have incurred certain loss. To compensate that loss, I'm offering damage, compensation, penalty. I'm again reiterating my point. I have entered into the contract for supply of goods or services. Let's say there's a delay in the contract, delay in execution. Is it tolerating an act? This was the point which we are discussing, right? If I delayed the contract, what would be the repercussion? My client, my recipient may have incurred certain loss, opportunity cost. So he will compensate, he will demand compensation from me. Bimal, you have delayed. And because of your delayed, I lost this much. Compensate. So it is supply of services. It is only compensating. It is only making his loss good. I never intended, it was never intention of mine to violate, to delay. In my humble opinion, generally, if you look at such contract, tolerating an act cannot, I'm using the term cannot, chargeable to GST unless a specific clause which is resulting into, and I'm saying it may vary from one situation to another situation, but in generalized perception, my humble opinion and submission would be it is not chargeable to GST because I never intended for violation. I never intended for the delay. It is only I'm compensating. I'm making good to the loss of my client, not chargeable to GST. And that was not the supply definition. I hope this submission has given some food for thought to all of you that what is chargeable to GST when I talk about tolerating an act. Please tell me in the chat box. You may have divergent views coming from different corner, but I gave whatever best I could give from my side. Am I clear? No GST. If you are agreeing, say yes in a chat box. If no, say no in a chat box. It is quite open that we can discuss and then move further. All right. Perfectly all right. Thank you very much. So Yadu is there, Pradeep Kumar P is there. He's saying yes. So every one of you are now writing and giving the answers. Very good. Let me move to the next case study, and which is again connecting case study. Let me take this case study once again. Third case study. And I hope we are going with the lighter version of understanding GST. Please carry on. I'm going to tell you three transactions, and it is again interplay of supply versus ITC provision. Interplay of supply versus ITC provision. Now, Mr. Vijay Kumar, he's a AC, retired from Madurai, and he's writing in a chat box, party collecting liquidated damage penalties compensation charging 18% GST in Gujarat. Sir, I can tell you one thing. We are into 4 years of GST. I was talking to Mr. Sundarajan just a while ago, and he started countering my point, citing Gujarat Advanced Ruling Authority judgment. I only, in my humble opinion, I only told him, I only told him that these advanced ruling are contrary. We all are GST practitioners, having good amount of GST knowledge. We are positively analyzing the thing, positively discussing the thing to conclude what is correct proposition. With due regards to each one of you, you can have that this is what happening in the market, but what is happening in the market is correct or not. For that we are discussing today. Why I'm picking up this issue and why I'm discussing this issue? I'm discussing this issue to analyze between both of us together that what is the correct position. Yes, I may have a different view and you may have different view and we have difference of opinion. But in difference of opinion, what we must appreciate that at least we understand each other. We should not sideline the argument of other person. That's what I given my observation, my opinion, in my humble opinion. And to my mind, I said also, I have recorded one video on this liquidated damage. No GST leviable. You can go to my YouTube channel, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and check this video is there where I discuss at length. So let's move to the next case study. That is important one. Again, interplay, supply and input tax credit. So are we focused? Shall I start? Say yes in a chat box. Once again, little relax and say yes in a chat box that you are ready and willing to listen to me. All right, thank you very much. But still, I want each one of you write something in a chat box. Please carry on writing something in a chat box. You are continuing with me and watching this webinar continuously. You're writing something in a chat box. Always motivate me. Yes, you're with me. Please. Okay. Getting really interesting, sir. Yadu. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Interplay. Again, interplay. Two provisions are mixing up in GST. I'm registered in Cochin, Kerala. I'm registered in Cochin, Kerala, though I'm from Delhi, but I'm creating example as if I'm registered in Cochin, Kerala. I'm doing 3 transactions. The first transaction which I'm doing, I'm importing goods from Korea. Listen very carefully. Listen carefully. I'm importing from Korea at $100. Before the goods enter into custom frontier of India, before the goods enter into the custom frontier of India, it means goods are on high seas. I have sold the goods to you, to all of you, to each one of you. I sold the goods at $120. I sold to all of you, and you all are B. So A imported at $100, sold to B at $120 when goods are on high seas. When goods are on high seas, tell me in a chat box, in my books, there'll be revenue of $120. There's revenue of $120 in my books. Whether GST leviable, please tell me, whether GST leviable, say yes and no. So except 2 or 3 guys, everyone is saying no, and answer is no. No GST leviable. No GST. High sea sale. Yadu MS is saying high sea sale covered in Schedule 3, Para 7 and Para 8 of Schedule 3, which is neither a supply of goods nor supply of services. Rightly said. Very well said. No GST. So let's conclude no GST. Second transaction. I got a customer in US and he was asking certain goods. So what I did, instead of supplying from India, I got a vendor, supplier in Korea. I asked my vendor and supplier to supply directly from Korea to US. So it is bill to ship to. So Korea vendor billing to A in Kerala, $100, shipping it to US directly from Korea to US with a GST leviable. It is not intermediary. Please do not get confused. Someone is writing intermediary 2 times he or she wrote. It is not intermediary. It is not chargeable to GST because of Para 7 of Schedule 3. No GST. So no GST. Concluded. No GST. Third transaction. Sija said no. Once again, third transaction. I imported the goods at $100. And then I stored the goods in custom bonded warehouse by filing inbound bill of entry. Inbound bill of entry. I stored the goods. And when my goods are stored in custom warehouse, I sold to you at $120. You are going to file, the buyer going to file ex-bond bill of entry for home consumption. So $120 revenue in the books of A with a GST leviable. Please tell me, say yes or no. All right, no GST. No. Sibam Tiwari is saying yes, GST. Deepa Praveen is saying yes. So James Anthony is saying IGST on import. Binu is saying yes. See, you as a buyer may file bill of entry and will pay GST. It was only from me perspective. When I'm selling to you at $120, you are going to file bill of entry for home consumption. Then the custom duty, including GST, leviable in your hands. I was asking whether it is chargeable in my hand. This was the question. This is the point I was making, whether GST leviable in my hands when I actually imported and then subsequently sold before moving custom frontier of India. That was the point. So I hope those who were having confusion, they have got clarified. So James Anthony, again, back to no. So, all right. Thank you very much. No GST leviable. Now, interesting part. Interplay with the ITC provision, input tax credit provision. Now, please tell me my 3 transaction. I said not chargeable to GST. And you also said not chargeable to GST, right? You said just while ago. But if I'm having common input and input services under ITC, please bear in your mind. Please bear in your mind. Whenever you look at input tax credit, you should have 3 bucket. Please, it is silver lining. First bucket, if certain input and input services or capital goods used for the taxable supplies, only for the taxable supplies, including zero rated supply, take 100% credit. So out of total credit, such portion of credit which is on input services and capital goods only for the taxable supplies, take 100% credit. If it is related to exempted supply, don't take any credit. This is clearly identifiable. Clearly identification is possible. Then what is last bucket left out? Which is called common bucket, common ITC, common input tax credit bucket. Am I right? And here the challenge are. Question is posted for common ITC. So in the hands of Bimal Jain, he did 3 transactions falling into para 7 and para 8 of schedule 3. No GST leviable in the hands of Bimal Jain. I'm asking all of you, do I require to reverse common ITC pertaining to these 3 transactions? Please tell me in a chat box, do I require to reverse common ITC pertaining to, and be open, be honest to yourself. Do not, colored yourself. Do we require to reverse on pro rata basis? Yes, please tell me. Do I require or not required? So I got the answers. A lot of you are answering saying no, yes, both the answers are coming out. Some Jyoti Kumar is saying yes, required. And just below Jai Shankar is saying not required. So Mohini Bose is saying not required. Rajesh Venkatraman is saying not required. My answer is, and listen carefully. no reversal. I'm repeating, no reversal in lieu of explanation under section 17 subsection 3 of CGST Act, clearly saying no reversal on schedule 3 transaction except para 5, sale of land and building. So there is specific provision carving out no reversal of common ITC on schedule 3 transaction except para 5, which is sale of land and building. This is the conclusion of this case study from supply. We started interplay of supply with ITC provision. Hope I'm clear to all of you. No reversal required, that's what I said, and I said under which provision it is there. I said under which provision it is there. Am I clear to all? Please tell me in the chat box. Yes. I really want that your answer must come in a chat box. Yes. All right. Let's move to next case study. Next case study. Perfect. Up till now, going fine. So there's a good connections of joining together. Good connection of joining together. Somebody in the chat box was using the term intermediary. And Mr. Ramana Kutti has said that Bimalji pick up some point which you have discussed with Joint Secretary GST Council. This point I'm going to discuss with all of you, and I really want, and this case study again, interesting case study, and where division bench, both the members are giving divergent judgment. GST just 4 years, right? 4 years. And we are getting different judgment, dissenting judgment from 2 members of division bench of Bombay High Court. So it is quite obvious in such kind of webinar which we are doing, we may have 1 or 2 cross argument between each other. You may have your own say, I have my own say. In GST, what I've seen, that all the participants are learned. They know the proposition, they know the sometime answer also. And sometimes they have a standard query in their mind. Please tell me, I'm asking you. And I look for the answer from all of you so that I get clarity on that. Attendees sometimes coming with a prepared mindset of asking 4 questions. And they also normally ask these 4 questions to all the speaker, different speaker coming at different point of time. And all 4 speakers, quite obvious, will not give the same answer. Always have different answer. But the attendee, which is asking the query, he has also made his answer in his mind. He has made his answer in his mind. And then the speaker who is giving the answer as per the answer of attendee, then he is termed as a best speaker, best GST person in the country. Because he is liking because his answer gets matched. But the other speaker who is not giving answer as per him, he will say, he does not know, he does not understand. He is not understanding my point. And that's what GST all about. Am I right in saying so? Please tell me. That's what looks like to me today. That's what always goes in the mind. Believe me, pan India, I'm coming across, this is happening. This is happening, and you will always have some kind of things where you will find difference, and attendees is having premeditated mind. He's not willing to listen, premeditated mind. And he will keep on harping on his point, blah, 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 blah. Allow his mind to get something new and fresh so that you have your, you can little, see, I'm not saying I'm correct. I'm not saying I'm correct 100%. I'm not saying I'm correct. But allow a space to listen and get other points, other viewpoint as well. That is what I'm saying. And that's what the better way. All right, let's move. Okay, all right, let's move. K. Prakash, my next case study. And it was before this point I raised before Joint Secretary GST Council. The question I posted to Joint Secretary GST Council was, I said, GST is a destination-based consumption tax. I hope you all agree, GST is a destination-based consumption tax. Now, the point which I'm drawing your attention today, I asked Joint Secretary GST Council, I said, sir, when GST is a destination-based consumption tax, then why you have not framed the law accordingly? Why the two members of division bench are giving dissenting views, contradicting each other? In GST law, it is only 4 years, and that is on intermediary. Somebody was referring intermediary while I was posting query for para 7 and para 8 of schedule 3. What is intermediary? Let me first tell you, then I will discuss and debate that our taxation law sometimes is not going sync with the government policy and going against the basic theme and object clause of Constitution Amendment Act, 101 Constitution Amendment Act. I posted to Joint Secretary GST Council. I'm posting to all of you. I'm a person in Cochin. I'm picking up Cochin example because this program is happening for Cochin. So picking this example that I'm registered in Cochin. I was contacted by a foreign supplier in Korea. So foreign supplier contacting Bimal Jain in Cochin and asking Bimal Jain to develop the market in India and get the new customer base. And there was a condition in a contract that once I develop the customer, this foreign supplier from Korea will supply the goods or services to the ultimate customer. And once transaction is through, then I will get, Bimal Jain will get certain percentage commission or any amount by whatever name you want to call it. I will get certain percentage. So I'm going to raise the invoice, let's say 10%. I'm going to raise the invoice to the foreign supplier because I developed the market, I got the customer, foreign supplier has supplied the goods, transaction executed. Now I'm entitled for my commission amount. I'm raising invoice to foreign supplier, 10%. Is it export of services? Because supplier is located in Cochin, Bimal Jain, India. Recipient is outside India. I'm being paid in convertible foreign exchange. I'm being paid in convertible foreign exchange. And we are not merely establishment of distinct person. I'm asking all of you, please tell me, is it export of services? If it is export of services, please tell me yes. Please tell me yes. Is it export of services? Okay. Please write in the chat box. See, do not be miser. Do not be miser not to write your answer. Please feel free to write whether export of services or not. Okay, I got a lot of answer. Whatever answer I got in a chat box, I will only request my audience. Please write whether you know or you do not know. Let's enjoy. I told you, let's enjoy. It is not export of services. Why it is not export of services? Listen very carefully. For export of services, I need to satisfy 5 conditions. 5 conditions. What are those 5 conditions? First, supplier must be located in India, satisfied. Recipient should be outside India, satisfied. Money should be received in convertible foreign exchange, satisfied. Supplier and recipient are not merely establishment of distinct person, satisfied. The last condition, Mr. Mangalam Sam is there. He said, place of supply is the determining factor. Yes, it is really determining factor. Bimal Jain is an intermediary because he is only arranging or facilitating supply of goods or services between two persons. So I'm intermediary. And for intermediary, place of supply, so this place of supply important. Listen very carefully because this is the only point of dispute and contention. For export of services, place of supply must be outside India. If you want to satisfy, then place of supply must be outside India. But for intermediary under section 13, subsection 8, clause B of IGST Act, for intermediary, place of supply is location of supplier, which is Cochin. Oh, so it is not outside India. Hence, it is not export of services. GST leviable 18%. So I asked this question, and this question you would be asking. And two member of division bench of Bombay High Court in Dharmender M. Jani, recent case. Dharmender M. Jani, recent case. In the light that Gujarat High Court has already given a judgment, Mr. Sundarajan was disputing just a while ago. Gujarat High Court has said on similar point, a writ was filed on constitutional validity of section 13, subsection 8, clause B, whether it is constitutionally valid. Because I've given services to a recipient outside India, and GST is a destination-based consumption tax, then it must have traveled outside India. Just because place of supply, which is being made location of supplier, is it not export? Gujarat High Court has given judgment, it is not ultra vires. So they said whatever provision given, we are going to read the provision, nothing else. So it is not ultra vires. Having this judgment, Bombay High Court, two members giving a different judgment, it has gone to now Chief Justice to form a larger bench. Now tell me, when two High Court giving contradictory version on same issue, I'm asking all of you. I have given services to recipient outside India. If GST is a destination-based consumption tax, which is the theme of 101 Constitution Amendment Act for introduction of GST in the country, it should be export of services. It should be export of services, using the term. But unless law is being made in the manner required to be, it is going contradictory. And just to highlight, this intermediary provision was copy-paste provision from service tax regime, October 1, 2014. They have copy-pasted the provision from service tax to GST regime. This was the one part. Now, I was referring that the government policy and taxation policies are not going in sync. Let me discuss this part and let me see answer coming from you. No, under Mr. Arvind Sharma, in pre-GST era also it was not export from October 1, 2014 because copy-paste provision. Listen very carefully now. And here you have to reply. Reverse the situation. Reverse the situation. I'm a Maruti company in India. I'm a Maruti company in India. Am I right? I'm approaching to foreign commission agent IH Kim in Korea. I'm approaching to him and I'm telling him, boss, you develop my market in Korea, get new customer base in Korea. I will supply goods from India to Korea and the customer base developed by you, I will give you the percentage commission. So this IH Kim in Korea, developing market, developing customer base, Indian supplier supplying goods or services to the ultimate customer. Now this guy, commission agent sitting in Korea, going to raise the invoice. And here I'm testing your knowledge. Please, up till now, I was not testing your knowledge. Up till now, I was telling you, you give the answer whatever you want to do. But now I'm going to test the knowledge because you all are learning. Give me the answer, give a thought at least for 30 seconds, then give me the answer. Now this supplier IH Kim, listen very carefully. Again, I'm repeating. Supplier IH Kim, commission agent in Korea. He is going to raise invoice to Maruti in India with a reverse charge on import of services in the hands of Maruti is applicable. My simple question. Again, I'm repeating, with a reverse charge, and please give 30-second thought and then write the answer. RCM on import of services in the hands of Maruti applicable, say yes or no in a chat box. So, lot of answer I'm getting. I'm seeing also I'm not responding. So, please carry on giving the answer. I will start only after 30 seconds so that we will conclude. So there's no new guy, Samsuddin, no. Ramdas is saying no. Rishikesh is saying yes. Pankaj Nahar is saying yes. Binu is RCM. Listen my answer. Listen my answer. Mr. James Anthony, listen my answer. And Mr. Vijay Kumar is also saying yes. Mahesh is saying yes, but answer is no RCM applicable. No reverse charge applicable. Why not applicable, right? You'll be asking this point. For import of services, suppliers should be located outside India. Yes, Korea. Recipient should be in India. Yes, it's in India. Place of supply must be in India. Place of supply must be in India for import of services. But when I look at place of supply for intermediary, POS for intermediary, it's a location of supplier, which is Korea. It is not India. Hence, no RCM in the hands of Maruti company. Please tell me the conclusion which I have drawn, you understood it. Say first yes in a chat box. Then I will say the repercussion of it. No RCM. No RCM. No RCM applicable. No RCM applicable. Perfect. All right. But if I go with the concept of GST is a destination-based consumption tax, if I go with this concept, then of course this Maruti has used the services of IH Kim, foreign commission agent. Am I right? Maruti has used his services and GST should have been charged. So POS for intermediary is wrongly defined to my mind, going contrary with the concept of GST, the preamble of GST. With the preamble of GST, I can say in my version, in my humble opinion, this POS is going to be decided by the Supreme Court only. But I've given my food for thought that this POS is going contradictory as per the concept of GST, as per the preamble clause of GST, as a theme of GST destination-based consumption tax. So litigation, this is what going on. Then I sounded what I sounded to Joint Secretary GST Council. Listen, this part is very beautiful, which I sounded. I said, sir, when I'm giving services from Cochin to Korea, I'm getting convertible foreign exchange for country India. And you're not saying it is export. You're saying it is not export of services. 18% leviable, which is cascading. I'm losing out my business. I will go back to Sri Lanka and do all this stuff. You're not saying export of services. I'm getting convertible foreign exchange for country India. But in reverse case, Maruti is paying to IHKIM my convertible foreign exchange going out of the country and no RCM applicable. No RCM applicable. Is it not contradictory to each other? Because you're just playing with the GST theme, destination-based consumption tax. Why can't we change such provision, copy-paste provision from service tax regime from October 1, 2014? Kindly get it changed. We need to see the GST should not be the, we are picking up all luggage, old luggage into GST regime. GST should be little opening up with the broader based concept. Am I right? This was the point I made. And this is what the Bombay High Court judgment in the case of Dharmender M. Jani, which is hugely disputed and discussed pan-India on the concept. Hope I'm clear. Please tell me in chat box. I told you because of place of supply, Mr. Vijay Kumar, I told you why reverse charge not applicable, because place of supply is not in India. It is outside India. That's the reason RCM importer services not applicable. Am I clear to all of you? Please tell me in the chat box once again. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. So great. So great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Now let me take two more case study, then we will bind up today. Two more case study. I know we got 116 participants today. I was asking Mr. Ramanan Kuti that how many participants I would be getting. He said, sir, we will try to have good participation. I know GST is becoming so much that every day or alternate days we are watching either or program. And sometime after the program is being done, it is being uploaded on YouTube. So we are in a relaxed mode. So we always presume and assume, yes, it will come back on YouTube. But let me tell you, the interest of watching live program is something different, always different, because you're interacting with me. And look at today, to me, looks like as if you're sitting in front of me. To me, it looks like as if you're sitting in front of me. I do not know whether you're feeling the same way or not, but from my side, it looks like that as if I'm addressing to the live audience sitting in front of me, because you're so prompt in chatting, talking to me and interacting with me as if I'm going back to back with you, right? Appreciation goes to you only. Two more case study and then we will sum up and let's have carry on. But before I start, I will tell you that you may subscribe to my YouTube channel, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever you are comfortable, for getting regular update in GST, and that too free of cost. No charges. At least I'm trying my best, whatever best I can extend to my own friend and fraternity as a CSR. When I'm talking CSR, let me start with a CSR, corporate social responsibility. So I will do only two case study and then we will cover up today. As a company, I need to compulsorily incur 2% of my average net profit of preceding 3 financial year for CSR expenses, corporate social responsibility. And I will pick up the Kerala example only because of Kerala flood. Lot of things happened, so it is related to Kerala. Picking up this example and discuss the advance ruling also, because We started with Mr. Sundarajan picking up Gujarat advanced ruling and talking to me for Kerala. I will pick up Gujarat, UP and everything in this example. Listen very carefully. Now, listen. CSR, 2% average net profit minimum of preceding 3 financial year. If I'm a company and my net worth is more than 500 crore, or turnover is 1,000 crore or more, or net profit it's 5 crore or more, either or option, I need to incur minimum 2% on CSR expenses. The question is, any input and input services procured, and on that you have paid GST. So I'm a company, let's assume I'm a company, I need to incur CSR expenses, right? Because of my turnover criteria, net worth criteria, or net profit criteria. So for incurring CSR expenses, I'm incurring on input and input services on which I'm paying the GST. Question is whether this credit would be available to me, to this company, which is meant for CSR expenses. Tell me in a chat box whether credit would be available or not, yes or no. You can write in a chat box, yes or no. This is what I'm expecting from you, yes or no. And you can write whatever you want to do, whatever you have your own opinion. So there are two schools. One school saying no credit available, and one school saying credit should be available. Credit should be available. Now listen very carefully, very carefully. What happened in Kerala? There was flood 2 years back. A lot of goods got destroyed. And in that destruction of goods, there would be two situations, that your loss is being covered with the insurance and your loss is not being covered with the insurance. If your loss is covered with the insurance, including GST component, then you have safeguarded yourself. You have safeguarded yourself. But if your loss is not covered with GST, then either your loss is not covered, and if it is not including GST, it is extra cost. And for destruction, goods lost, destroyed, or written off, section 17, subsection 5, clause H. Goods lost, destroyed, written off, or disposed of by way of gift or sample. So this was a flood situation. On CSR, from Kerala Advanced Ruling Authority, I do not know Mr. Sundarajan is still there or he has left, which I am not aware of, but the Kerala Advanced Ruling has said, in the case of Polycab, no credit for CSR expenses, no credit should be available. Fortunate enough, from UP Advanced Ruling Authority, I'm saying fortunate enough, in the Dwarikesh Sugar, credit should be available. And what UP Advanced Ruling Authority has concluded, difference I'm saying. Kerala Advanced Ruling saying it is not in the course of furtherance of business. That was the Kerala Advanced Ruling Authority. And UP saying it is in the course of furtherance of business, because CSR is statutory obligation on company for me to incur. If I want to survive my business, economic activities, I need to incur, and it is in the course of furtherance of business. For my business to continue in the course of furtherance, I need to incur CSR expenses, because statutorily obligated under section 135 subsection 5 of Companies Act 2013. That is the Dwarikesh Sugar Advanced Ruling. Two divergent ruling. And if I go to pre-GST era, If I go to pre-GST era, okay, Mr. Sundarajan, I appreciate that you are still there. I understand that you're not countering me, but I hope now you will agree and appreciate my contention that these advanced ruling are contradictory. We cannot pick up and choose the ruling which is coming favorable, which only carry persuasive value. It is not applicable to me. Advanced ruling authority applicable only to the appellant, but carry the persuasive value. But we need to determine what is objective of all of us together to determine GST leviable and chargeability, right? GST credit available or not within the four corners of law. Leave both the advanced ruling. Leave both the advanced ruling. Please tell me, CSR, which is statutorily obligated, am I right? No one will deny it is not statutorily obligated. Statutorily obligated. If I don't incur, I will not be able to run my business. They will stop my business. They will say, Bimalji, shut down your shop. You have violated the provision. You are not supposed to do business. So if I want to continue furtherance, in the course of furtherance of business, I need to meet out the legal obligation, statutory obligation. Hence, credit should be available. Now, can we compare that this CSR is a gift? A dispute may come to anyone's mind that goods lost, stolen, destroyed, written off, or disposed of by way of gift or sample. Is it free gift? There's a difference between free gift and statutorily obligated. Free is voluntary. Gift is voluntary. It is not legally obligated. I may or may not give. But CSR, it is not voluntary. It is statutorily, mandatorily obligated, need to incur. I need to get into. So in my humble opinion, there is no restriction in a negative list that credit is not available. I do not find any provision restricting me not to avail credit. And second, from broader perspective, sometimes we look at only taxation. But sometimes if we look at the numbers, some other economic policy, government policy, we can also debate such issue. My second counterpoint, if credit available to me, then to that extent, money get free to be incurred for CSR expense. Let's say I need to incur 100 rupees. Let's assume hypothetically. If you don't give me the credit, then what happened? There's a 80 rupees purchase and 20 rupees GST, 100 rupees debited to my books, CSR expenses. So to the extent of 20 rupees credit is not available, becomes my cost for CSR expenses. This 20 rupees if credit is available, let's assume, would have been made extra money available in my hand to incur for the social cause. To incur for the social. It is good for the government that they should allow me credit and make this extra money available for incurring for the CSR expense. I'm just discussing not from GST perspective. I'm saying if credit is available, it will release extra penny, extra money in my hand to mean for the social cause. I hope you all got my point. Please tell me. Please tell me, am I right? K. Prakash. Yes. But if anything which is other than CSR, so there may be something which is not CSR obligated. Somebody asked me, sir, if something which is not CSR obligated, and still you're incurring for social cause, whether credit would be available, in my humble opinion, then in that case, you will not be able to present yourself statutorily, mandatorily obligated. Then it may shape a color of as if it is not legally obligated. Hence, we will not give you. You could have continued even without doing this. None is stopping you. So there is some risk exposure, and which is there. Risk exposure. Okay, so I have given my observation to all of you. Let me come to the last case study of today, and then we will conclude. Last case study, and let's enjoy the last case study, and then we will say fir milenge, see you again, not goodbye. Last case study. With a big hue and cry in the market, I wanted to discuss a lot and lot more. So maybe next time. So some divinage coming as just saying business promotion. Let's come back to his point only. I've got many things to deliver, but still, when he's picking up, let me pick up this sales promotion versus gift item. Sales promotion versus gift item. Listen carefully, maybe the last case study. I've asked my distributor and dealer. I've asked my distributor and dealer that you achieve this milestone. You achieve this milestone, I will give you gold coin. I will give you the gold coin. So as a company, I purchased the gold coin and paid the GST. And I'm offering this gold coin to such distributor and dealer who have achieved the milestone of sales target. Sales target. Question is, we got contrary advance ruling. We know that. Whether this credit on a gold coin, which I purchased to offer to my distributor and dealer, only when they will achieve the milestone as defined, as agreed between both of us, whether credit would be available. Please tell me in the chat box, credit would be available or not. So every one of you are saying yes. Why you are not picking up that advance ruling, which is saying credit is not available? And certain guys have started saying no also. So Raj Lakshmi saying no, Amit Gupta saying no. To me, looks like credit should be available, and credit is available. Why credit is available? Listen carefully. I'm giving gold coin to my distributor and dealer on achieving the milestone. It is first of all legally obligated for me. Once you achieve the milestone, you will come back to me and demand that gold coin. Once you achieve the milestone, you come back and demand that gold coin which I promised to you. Am I giving you free? Next question comes in anyone's mind. I'm not giving free. It is always to penetrate my sales, increase my sales. It's a part of my sales promotion. Part of my sales promotion. In the course of furtherance of business, GST credits should be available. GST credits should be available. Am I right? Should be available, even though contradictory judgment, contradictory advance ruling judgment. In one of my client case, they have rejected at the lower level, adjudication level. And quite obvious, at adjudication level, you will not be given justice. And they are, sorry to say, pro-revenue. And because of certain other compulsion also. Even though they want to give the relief, they are sometimes not in a position to give the favorable judgment, because they feel like, why I should take the pain? Let it be decided by the tribunal. So still past legacy is still going on. They, even though they agree with my view, but they will not give me favorable judgment. I need to go back till tribunal and get the thing decided in my favor. And that's what's happening. So such advanced ruling where only departmental officers are sitting, they are making 95% pro-revenue judgment. Some 5% you may get in your case, taxpayers' advantage. Sales promotion. But somebody has said something to me in chat box. Sir, sometime I'm giving some item free. Let's say some item. I'm manufacturing a certain item, FMCG product, and giving free to promote my business. He said to promote my business. Now here, when you're giving your own manufactured goods free, is it a gift? You can always say, sir, it is for the business promotion. In the course or furtherance of business, you can say that. I'm not stopping you. But there is specific bar under section 17, subsection 5, clause H, which is saying, I will not give you the credit for the gift or sample. I will not give you, even though it is in the course of furtherance of business, because definition of input service and capital goods, clearly saying used or intended to be used in the course of furtherance of business, and credit should be available, but they have carved out, they have said, even though it is in the course of furtherance of business, I will not give you the credit. Bar, section 17, subsection 5, clause H. In my humble opinion, when it is not legally obligated, and you're giving free gift, when you're offering a gift free, sample free, with no commitment, then in my humble opinion, that is the biggest risk you are taking for availing ITC. That would be my submission only. You are exposing yourself. But I have also again discussed the component where credit should be available and credit is made available. When you can always argue gold coin purchase for giving to the distributor and dealer on achieving their milestone, it is contractually obligated. I'm supposed to give. And now here you can argue it is not gift. It is not gift. I'm not giving as a gift. So I created difference when it can be termed as a gift, when it is not termed as a gift. Please tell me at least this part, when it is gift and when it is not gift. Am I able to clarify to all of you? Tell me in the chat box, say yes at least in a chat box, that so you can just work it out what I mean to say and what I'm intending and wanted to convey my message to all of you. All right, very much clear to all of you. Thank you very much. That gift is not expecting. Okay, K Prakash is saying. Somebody said, and contract plays important role. So today's topic was how to optimize ITC and how to protect yourself from disallowance of input tax credit. This was the point given to me. Let me come to the conclusion part. We are just coming closure part. 2 hours dedicated, one-sided. I have not asked anyone except the chat box. Otherwise, I always have a habit of, asking and interacting, but you have played a good role today. Sometimes I get a question from friends from my South India, and they always say, Bimalji, why can't you speak in English? Why you use the Hindi? This is the complaint sometimes I get. But try to understand, when I'm doing the program for the friends from North India, I need to use Hindi because that is the local language used. And so what I try my best. But today when I'm doing program for friends from South India, I'm not utter a single word which you will say I did not understand. I was continuously in a language which is understandable to each other, though I do not understand Keralite language. I do not understand Tamil language. But what is important, we understand the meaning of vibration between both of us together. Am I right? GST law is, I always say, Gita, Bible, and Quran. Irrespective of any language, any religion, any race, any caste, I will also request my friends from South, try to learn little Hindi. I've seen one movie came long time back, Ek Duje Ke Liye. I do not know how many of you have watched that movie. It was a girl from North India in love affairs with the boy from South India. And they did not understand language of each other, but get into a love. And then they started understanding each other. My only humble submission, sometime when I'm making some comment in Hindi, when you watch my YouTube video, little bear with me, try to learn little Hindi for me, for your friend like Bimal Jain. So I feel like, yes, my friends are with me and they are still learning little Hindi. I always try. Even I've been given opportunity, some work, some good work in Cochin. I stay back for 10, 15 days. Otherwise, I'm sure Mr. Raman Kutti will not allow me. Mr. Sundarajan will not allow me. He will always come back and say, this is what the view coming out. Mr. Sundarajan, he will come back and say, I don't agree with you. But in case I'm being given opportunity, I will also learn the local language. That's the always, beauty of learning. I'm offering some services to Chinese company. Well, I will learn Malayalam. Definitely, 100%. I'm only saying, let's start, gelling together. GST is applicable from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. It's irrespective of any language. Whatever applicable in Kerala, applicable in Delhi. It's such a beauty of GST now. Now we can discuss at length that what is the interpretation, what is the provision, and how we can do it in a better way, and how we can analyze it in a better way. So thanking each one of you that you gave your important time, and I have tried my best 2 hours. Within the 2 hours, whatever best I could do from my side, we can do it. That's what I'm looking for. Thanking each one of you for your such a lovely remarks in a chat box. I know that you are hardcore well-wisher of Bimal Jain. I know that you always love me, and I'm really obliged and always owe that this is your love and affection. It cannot be repaid back. But thanking each one of you, and wish each one of you a great success in your career. And Mr. Sundarajan, I'm not taking you otherwise. Believe me, just I thought that while contradicting, we have to be a little decent in our approach for giving our views rather than contradicting and contradicting. That was only humble submission. There was nothing otherwise in my mind. I'm very open guy. Thank you very much. Thanks for listening, and thanking each one of you once again. Thank you.
James, lot of thanks very much, James.
Okay, thank you, Bimalji. It was a very wonderful session. Bimalji has explained many intricacies of IT security in a very interesting way, very special way, through case studies, and engaged everyone every minute of the session with his active interaction. We really felt that actually we are sitting around a table and discussing the matter, not a webinar. He enlightened the participants with the interesting interpretation of notice pay, liquidated damages, CSR expense, gift, intermediary services, export of service, import of service, almost all the contentious areas. It was a very thought-provoking and enriching session for all the participants. And on behalf of the Association of GST Professionals Cochin, and on behalf of all the participants here, I extend our heartfelt gratitude from the bottom of our heart to Bimalji. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Special thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
A short time invitation accepted.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot.
My pleasure, and thanks to each one of you. Please take care of yourself, and God bless all of us together. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we are closing the meeting.
Oh, yeah.